Something big is happening this week, and if you rely on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits, you need to hear this. Right now, across the United States, millions of seniors are checking their bank accounts and seeing something unexpected, a fresh payment hitting early. And for some, the amount is higher than they've seen in months, up to $5,489 in some cases. Yes, that number is real, and yes, it's happening now in June. But here's the thing, not everyone knows why these payments are rolling out, who qualifies, or what's behind the increase. That's exactly why we're breaking it all down for you in today's video, clearly, accurately, and without any nonsense. No clickbait. Just the truth that seniors across the country are desperate to hear right now. Whether you're living on a fixed income, waiting for your next SSDI deposit, tracking your VA benefits, or just trying to make sense of these confusing Social Security changes, you deserve answers, not rumors. So, let's cut through the noise. This week's deposits are part of a carefully scheduled distribution pattern by the Social Security Administration, and if your birthday falls in a certain range or if you receive benefits on behalf of someone else, your money could already be on the way. Plus, with inflation adjustments, benefit recalculations, and even state-based supplements in play, some seniors are getting more than they expected. But not everyone will. That's why it's more important than ever to understand what's really going on. Who's getting the full $5,489? What triggered these deposits? And will they continue next month? You've got questions, and this is where you'll get straight answers. Let's break it down. Let's start with what's actually happening behind the scenes of these June payments. A lot of folks across the country are waking up and seeing deposits in their accounts that are much larger than usual, some even close to $5,489. Now, that's not a typical monthly payment, so it's natural to wonder what's causing this. For some, it's a result of multiple payments being released at once, such as a delayed deposit finally hitting at the same time as a scheduled one. In other cases, it's the result of cost of living adjustments, retroactive payments, or even one-time state-level supplements that have been quietly rolling out based on local legislation. These aren't random surprises. There are reasons for these numbers, and understanding them can help you know whether or not you're eligible. Now, let's talk timing. Social Security payments are distributed based on your birth date if you receive retirement or disability benefits. Those born in the first 10 days of the month usually get their checks in the second week, while those with birthdays falling later in the month typically receive theirs in the third or fourth week. So, yes, when we say that checks are landing now, we mean it literally. This week is one of those key payout weeks for folks with birth dates in the middle of the month. If you're not seeing your payment yet, it may still be processing depending on your specific case. And for those receiving SSI, your payments usually come in at the beginning of the month, but in some months, due to the calendar, you might see a double deposit or an adjusted delivery time. One reason why the $5,489 number is grabbing so much attention is because that figure represents the maximum benefit for individuals who delayed their Social Security retirement until age 70. It's important to clarify that not everyone is going to see that exact number. Most beneficiaries receive a much smaller monthly amount, somewhere around $1,900 to $2,000 on average. But for those who qualified for the maximum by working at the top end of the income scale and delaying their benefits, that high figure is accurate. It's real, it's being paid out, and it's hitting accounts this month for those who've reached their payout week. That's why people are talking about it. It's not just hype, it's real, but you have to be in the right category to see that level of payment. Now, where things get a little tricky and where people start to get confused is with overlapping benefits. A lot of seniors receive more than one form of federal assistance. Some get both SSI and SSDI. Others are veterans receiving VA disability in addition to Social Security. And this is where changes and updates can really impact you. For example, many states and local governments are issuing supplemental support for low-income individuals, especially seniors and veterans, as a response to inflation, rising rent costs, and overall economic pressure. Some of these are delivered through EBT cards, others come as direct deposits, and in some cases, paper checks are being mailed out separately. If you're in a state like California, New York, or Texas, you may already be familiar with these types of supplemental programs. But even in smaller or more rural states, there are funds being distributed, sometimes quietly, so it's worth checking in with your local Human Services office or VA coordinator. Another big reason you might be seeing a larger payment this month is due to back pay. Let's say you were recently approved for SSDI or VA disability and it took months or even years for your case to be approved. When that approval finally comes through, the federal government owes you money dating back to your original filing date. That lump sum is what we call retroactive pay, and when it lands, it often appears without much fanfare. One day, your account just has thousands of dollars in it. But again, it's not random. If you recently had a case approved, or if you won an appeal, that could explain why you're getting a large one-time payment this month. Now, I want to talk about the impact of cost of living adjustments, what we call COLA. Earlier this year, the Social Security Administration increased benefits by 3.2% to help account for inflation. While that's a smaller increase than the past 2 years, it still made a noticeable difference for many seniors. But here's where it gets interesting. Depending on when your benefits started, how your income was calculated, and whether you have dependents, the way that COLA hits your check can vary. Some people saw a steady increase spread over several months, while others saw theirs reflected all at once in a single updated payment. If you've been watching your deposit grow slowly, this month's check might look a bit different as the full COLA effect finally shows up. Let's not forget the veterans in our community. The Department of Veterans Affairs also issued updated benefits this year, and those increases are being distributed similarly. VA benefits are usually deposited on the first business day of the month, but holidays and weekends can shift that schedule. So if you're a veteran and your payment hasn't landed yet, keep an eye on your deposit timeline. It may be just around the corner. And for disabled veterans, survivor families, and those on both VA and Social Security, it's essential to track both schedules and know where your money is coming from. It's also worth noting that some people are getting larger deposits because of tax refunds or corrections to previous underpayments. This happens more often than people think. Sometimes, Social Security recalculates your benefit based on new earnings records or missed information that was corrected. In other cases, IRS refunds tied to earned income credits, child tax credits for caregivers, or overpayment corrections show up as random-looking deposits. They're not always labeled clearly, and that's what makes this entire situation so confusing for seniors. You check your account, see a larger amount, and wonder, was that a mistake, or is it mine to keep? That's a fair question, and in most cases, if the payment came from a federal benefit agency and matches your account details, it's legally yours. So, what should you do right now if you're unsure about the money you've received? First, don't panic. You don't need to rush to call Social Security unless you believe the payment was a mistake. If you recently applied for benefits, changed your bank account, moved to a new address, or had any interaction with the SSA, SSDI, VA, or SSI in the last few months, that could very well explain the deposit. Second, log into your official SSA account. It's free, and it gives you the clearest picture of your benefit history, payment breakdown, and future schedule. Third, take a moment to check your mail. Many payment changes or approvals are still communicated by letter, and that envelope may already be sitting on your kitchen table. One final note, there are a lot of scammers out there right now trying to take advantage of this payment confusion. If you get a call from someone claiming to be from Social Security or the VA, asking for your banking information or threatening to cancel your benefits, hang up immediately. The real agencies will never call you and demand personal information over the phone. Your best defense is being informed, cautious, and aware of your official payment channels. So yes, the $5,489 checks are real. They are happening now. But the only way to know whether that amount, or something close to it, is headed your way is by understanding your personal situation. Your birthday, your work history, your benefit category, and your recent interactions with the SSA or VA all play a role. The good news: millions are being paid right now. The better news? You might be one of them. And if you're not seeing that money just yet, don't lose hope. Your turn might be next.